Hi ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name's Walton and I'm here to present Colour in Your Life in the UK. We all know an artist or creative individual out there, often a family member or a best friend. So come along with us on this wonderful adventure of inspiration, creativity and positivity to meet and watch some of the most talented and creative people in the country. And let us put some colour in your life. Hi ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are in Topsham in Devon today for the latest episode of Colour in Your Life UK. And we're here to meet the amazingly talented Sally Lancaster. Sally, it's wonderful to meet you.
Hiya, thanks for coming down.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now Sally has been painting for about 20 years and basically in recent years she's moved more towards figurative work, and as you can see there's some fabulous work here, and we know we're going to see some amazing talent today from Sally. So keep watching. So Sally, you're going to set out your palette now.
Yeah.
And I notice obviously there's a lot of colours on there that one would expect to see on a palette for somebody creating a figurative piece, but I was quite struck by what appears to be quite a bright orange there.
Yes, that's cadmium yellow deep, that one. So
Right.
I use it mainly sort of for highlights and just to bring out subtle tones in her skin.
Okay.
But yes, I use that very rarely, that one.
So just give us an idea of what paints you are using there then, colour-wise.
So these ones are oil colours, and my skin tones sort of tend to have the yellow ochres, the orange, the alizarin crimson, and good old burnt sienna.
Yeah. And what white do you use?
I normally use sort of titanium white, but sometimes, so I'm not having too much white in it, the zinc white.
Any preference on make?
At the moment, Winsor & Newton.
Okay. Well, we'll let you carry on setting that out. I think it's important to mention that Sally, you managed to fund the programme by using crowdfunding and the help of family and friends.
Yes, that's right.
Rather crucially as well, you've been sponsored by a lady called Jackie Blackman, who owns and runs a company called Zest It.
Yeah, she's been fabulous.
Yeah. And I contacted Jackie and she sent me some of the product. I'm very impressed with it actually, and it's great that you're being supported by a British manufacturer, and not a particularly big one either.
No. Yeah, she's quite a small manufacturer, but I got into Zest It after, basically when I began working with oils, and I just found solvents really smelly and gave me a really bad headache. So they smell of citrus and there's barely any smell to them whatsoever, and they're non-toxic. So they're brilliant in a studio environment because you don't have to have the window open all the time to air the room. Yeah,
as I say, I've used the brush cleaning product and thought it was very, very good.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Jackie Blackman.
Yes, definitely.
Well, you've made a start there.
Yes, I'm just blocking out the canvas at the moment to get rid of the white background.
Okay, I noticed that you do use, you don't actually put a ground down. Is there a reason for that? Or?
It's just how I've always worked.
Right. You're pretty much self-taught, aren't you?
Yes, completely.
Almost completely self-taught, and you very proudly told me you got a C at GCSE.
Yes.
And I'm a bit older than you. I got a C at O level in art, and but I went on to do an A level, but I didn't take it any further than that. But you went to secretarial college.
Yes, well, I was kind of packed off to secretarial college because I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was left school. So my parents decided that that's what I should do. So yes.
Oh right, okay, parental influence.
Yes.
And how did that work out then?
Yeah. Wasn't my favourite time of my life, it has to be said.
Okay. So you weren't doing a huge amount of painting at that time, having left school, but you told me that you picked it up after a trip to the United States in 1998.
Yes, I'd been travelling around the world, so I'd been in Australia for a year. And on my way back, I stopped in LA for a couple of weeks and stayed with a friend of mine. And she was doing pet portraits as a job back then. And I was like, oh, I've never even heard of that. So came back, well, I did a drawing whilst I was out there of a cat and went, oh, it's not actually that bad. And then when I came back, decided to do it part-time, and that was the road to where I am now.
Wow. And you have moved on quite a bit, and
Yes.
you've won a number of awards as well, which needs to be mentioned, for your equine studies, and your paintings of horses are absolutely stunning. And I've been looking through all of your work, but I particularly was impressed with a painting called Polished, and I think that's really quite something. It's am I right in thinking that's dressage?
Yes, I did quite a few dressage paintings. Just love watching the horses, controlling their movements and the form and their anatomy and the movement and their muscle, and just watching them out there is incredible. Yeah,
I mean the sheen on that particular horse's coat is absolutely amazing. Yeah, you know, I also love the fact that you know, you're painting areas of the animal and rider rather than the whole thing. So the juxtaposition is really quite special. I think quite unique. I don't think I've seen work like that before.
I like to do certain sort of quirky, sort of unusual angles, really. Sort of bring a viewer in from a different angle to what they'd normally see, really.
Indeed, indeed. Also looking at another one which is, I think, almost beach volleyball, but it's not. It's called beach ball.
Yes.
And I think that's polo on a beach.
Yes, that's beach polo.
Beach polo, right. I wasn't aware of beach polo, I must admit. But yeah, very different to the kind of work that you're doing now. You've moved on, as you know, many artists do, into a completely different field, really, with figurative work. But again, I'm struck by particularly the ballet scenes, the dancers, and drawing a comparison with ballet and dressage.
Well, for me, it's again about the form and the movement and the power and strength of the body and what it can do, quite frankly, and also using lighting so you can pick up the muscle tones and different shadows as well.
Yes, there's no doubt your ability to capture light and shade is absolutely staggering. I think I have to be honest and say it's about some of the best work I've ever seen anywhere.
Thank you.
The red dress picture,
Yeah.
again, very, very striking, and it leads into this whole idea of strength and power and poise and musculature, as you've just mentioned. Really staggering. Of course, the red in the picture is incredibly strong. It's quite obvious, really, that you've really picked up on this whole idea of movement. And then looking at another series of paintings, or what appears to be a series, is the veiled pictures.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
I was doing a photo shoot with some dancers, and there were a couple of other photographers there, and one of them had a big bag of material, and I wanted to incorporate material into the pictures to create another form of movement, really. And so we just got one of the dancers to basically put the material over her head and saw how they came out in the photos, and it was just beautiful imagery. So
yeah.
I was like, oh, I've got to paint that.
I'm amazed. I mean, I cannot see how you've managed to paint the veil over the figure. It's just, it's quite staggeringly good.
It was quite hard work.
Yeah, and we appreciate what you're doing today, that you know, your work takes a long time, and usually I think you said about a month to complete a picture?
Yes, definitely for this sort of size painting. So it'll be several layers of paint, and this is my least favourite layer, so I'm just literally slap it all on, whereas I'm a detail person, so at this point I'm just slapping on and
well,
covering.
I'm watching and I can't see that I would describe that as slapping paint on, but when I'm slapping paint on, it's usually with a 2-inch brush, so I think it's incredibly impressive. So Sally, we've moved on to the second painting now, as I think the audience get the idea now that these kind of pieces do take many hours to complete, and I think we talked about the fact that one of your pieces may take a month or more. So I think we all understand that we need to do these things in stages. But the fabric that you've created there is absolutely amazing. I mean, I think you said it was satin.
Yeah.
And it looks like satin. I mean, there's no other way of putting it. The sheen on that material is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I love satin because the way that it does interact with the light and gives off nice shadows and, as you say, the sheen.
Yeah, yeah. Just out of interest, what size brush are you using there? Is it
That's a 2, that one.
Yeah, it's obviously a round, yeah.
Yeah.
And did you prefer any particular brushes, or are you know?
Not really, it's just whatever our fantastic art shop down the road has.
Ah, yes, yes, that would be Darren's Bargain Art.
Yep.
I think we mentioned,
Yes.
yeah, we popped in to see him yesterday.
Yeah, tried to scare him by videoing him.
Yeah, nice guy.
My old boss.
It's wonderful to actually see an independent art shop, because there are fewer and fewer in this country, which is really quite sad.
Yeah. Yes, he's definitely one of a kind, is Darren.
So, we've talked about lots of different things so far today, and one of the things that I picked up on is I think you're very proud to be a West Country girl.
Yes, love being back here.
And it is a lovely area, there's no doubt about that. And it's nice that although Topsham, you quite pointedly told me, is not a village, it's a town, there's a very friendly atmosphere, I think.
Yeah, it's a great community around here.
Yeah, yeah. Do you get people coming in to visit your studio on occasions? Or?
Occasionally, but not that often, but they're more than welcome to do so.
Right, right.
The place is open.
Yeah, that's good. And you're on the high street, although you're not that obvious.
Yeah.
You're above a graphics company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're associated with a number of societies in the southwest here, and I noted that you've won a number of prizes as a result, I think. But predominantly on the equestrian side. So let's hope that this, as far as your figurative work is concerned, you start to become really recognised, and I do think you will be.
I hope so.
It really is of superb quality, and I'm convinced that you're going places, and hopefully Colour in Your Life will take you around the world.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Reaching Out, quite an unusual portrait of a horse. I love the stance, the sheen on the coat again, just absolutely marvellous, and the movement in the mane as well.
Yeah.
They're uniquely yours.
Yeah.
And I hope that the people that own these paintings now, or that might find one of your rare equine studies, really appreciate it, because as you've said, you've moved on from that, and it's unlikely that you will do any equine work in the future. But we should never say never, I suppose. I used to paint an awful lot of aviation work, and I rarely do that now unless it's to commission, and I'm not terribly keen, to be perfectly honest, unless I've got free rein. Oh, no pun intended. But
yeah, very good.
no, it's a lovely piece. It really is.
Yeah, I did a sort of borrowed some people's horses and went to their field, and nice sunny afternoon again, and I think she was in the field with us and had her hand out with an apple or something, so her horse reached out to get the apple, so and it made a nice outline, and It's also that contact between human and horse as well.
Yes, yeah. They're such big animals, I have to admit. I mean, I was thrown at the age of 7, and I broke my wrist, and it kind of put me off, really, because they are such big, powerful animals, and I have a healthy respect for them.
Yeah.
I have ridden since, but I'm always wary about a mode of transport that has a mind of its own. I know you used to ride, but...
Yes, I haven't ridden in a long time now, actually, about 12 years I think it is.
So the painting that's behind you there, Sally, called Pose.
Yeah.
Incredibly strong position again for that particular dancer.
Yeah.
And I believe she's a friend of yours?
Well, she's a friend now, sort of thing. I got to know her because of doing the painting. But yes, she's an incredible woman.
And you were telling me something about her condition when you did that.
Yeah, she was 15 weeks pregnant.
Wow.
When we did that photo shoot.
And that is
kind of
really
sickening, really, isn't it, that she looks so good?
Yes, she does look incredibly good. And there's a similar painting, same dancer again, called Flection.
Yeah.
Presumably from the same photo shoot.
Yes.
There is no way in the world that I would guess that lady was 15 weeks pregnant.
No.
She looks absolutely amazing. Yeah, I mean it's stunning work. It really is.
Thank you.
It's the kind of work that should be seen in some of the finest galleries in the world. And yet you tell me you've been struggling to find galleries that seem to want figurative work.
Yes, finding ones that definitely have sort of figurative and the realistic stuff. It's quite tricky finding them and also getting them to take you on, because if they've got a figurative artist, they assume that you're all going to be producing the same type of work.
And no artist produces the same type of work. This
No.
is the thing, isn't it? Your work is incredibly unique. And yes, it's an interesting one. Perhaps Colour in Your Life can help there around the world as far as galleries are concerned. Because I cannot believe that there wouldn't be thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people would appreciate the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
In terms of galleries that you do exhibit in, I noticed that you've exhibited in Red Hook in New York.
Yes. Yeah.
Equus Gallery, I presume that would be equine art.
Yes, that's owned by my friend Juliet, and she used to be, well, she does photography, and there's a whole group of us who are friends on Facebook. Never even met them, but just sort of, it was her brainchild to open up a gallery a few years ago, and it's been absolutely fantastic. And actually she sold a couple of my paintings quite recently, and she's only got the one painting left now, so it's a rare painting that she's got of mine.
It sounds as though you need to get any equine pictures that you've got over to New York. And also you mentioned the Park Gallery in Cheltenham. It's a relatively new gallery, but...
Yes, that one opened up in July, and it's a beautiful area of Cheltenham, but sort of in Montpellier, so it's a Georgian building. It's absolutely stunning around there. And yes, and he very kindly actually came to me and said he'd like to take on some of my art. So
yes, I think it's always better that the gallery comes to you rather than you going to them. It was very interesting that when we filmed Scott Naismith recently, and I asked Scott what he considered, if he had a piece of advice, what he considered to be the best piece of advice. And he said that finding galleries was like going fishing, that you put some tasty bait on the hook and you dangle the line in the water and you wait for a fish to bite. What you don't do is swim after the fish. And I thought that was incredibly good advice, because if you do swim after the fish, or indeed chase after the gallery, you'll often end up singing to their tune. And we really want that the other way around. Yeah,
it's very important to stick to your guns and be individual and do your thing, and want them to come and have you in their gallery for what you're doing.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that would be a good piece of advice to any artists out there.
Yeah.
Out of interest, where do you see things going with your painting career in the future?
It'd be nice to obviously sort of get maybe a solo exhibition at some point with my figurative work. maybe in a nice London gallery or over in New York or somewhere if they want to have me.
New York, Tokyo, Japan, yeah.
I'd quite like to go and visit all these places, so I'm perfectly fine with that.
Absolutely. Well, I think that once people have seen just how good your work is, and good just doesn't cut it, it really is absolutely superlative work. I think you're going to start getting emails and maybe some phone calls, because it really does deserve to be seen all over the world. And a smart London gallery, yes, absolutely. I'm sure you'd like to go to New York, as we probably all would. And I see no reason why not. It's as good a work as I've ever seen of the subject that you're painting. So we really do hope that that's the case.
Yeah, thank you.
And we hope that Colour in Your Life can make a difference, which is what it's all about.
Yes, exactly.
From what you tell me, you've got quite a lot of work to do on that yet.
Oh yes,
And,
quite a lot.
How many hours or days or weeks, what do you think?
Probably about 3 weeks worth.
Really?
Yep.
By Jove. Well, unfortunately, we haven't got 3 weeks.
No?
So what we'll do is we'll screen up the image of the finished piece for the viewers to see. And I'm sure it's going to be absolutely stunning. And thank you so much for having us here today.
No, thank you for coming to my studio.
Wow, folks, what a fantastic day we've had here today with Sally. Sally, thank you so much for a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Some fabulous painting. Where can we see more of your work?
So I've got a website, which is sallylancaster.co.uk. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and on my website you can find the galleries my paintings are with.
That's absolutely fantastic. And obviously you've been watching another episode of Colour in Your Life in the UK, but Colour in Your Life, of course, is all over the world, and you can find us on YouTube, you can find us on Facebook, and don't forget the website, which is colourinyourlife.com.au. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget, put some colour in your life. Bye.
Bye.